Hello, dear friends. It is another episode of our rain retreat Dhamma discussion from bolankanda thapoarana, Passyala, Sri Lanka. In this first season, we trying to encourage you to cultivate mindfulness in your daily basis in certain ways, and I am trying to guide you to reach that goal in some specific topics like we already discussed in past couple of times. And today I'm going to talk about something very interesting, which is about mind and thinking. As a subject, I think there is no another religion or another teachings, including Western psychiatry, talk about mindfulness than Buddhism. Buddha, or we called Siddhartha Gautama, who born in 2600, more than 2600 years ago, and what he told is sometimes in modern world, still in modern world, sometimes unknown. Maybe sometimes people can't figure it out what it is. Or I could say sometimes in modern world, many of the researchers or writers are trying to write lots of book about maybe explain how to or what's the meaning of the very simple word, but Buddha explained it within couple of words. It's fascinating, actually. It's amazing. Anyhow, we called mind, sometimes they think it's brain, but anyway, we all are doing very same process, or everybody has very same habit, which is thinking. After we understand that we can think, after we born, we all are thinking every day, day by day, until we die. We can't stop it. And the real problem is actually, like I said last, we can't stop it. We know how to think, but we don't know how to control it. So in this very talk, I would like to teach you how to control it, how to control our thoughts. I know it's very difficult subject, but personally I prefer to do some impossible task, Like I said earlier, as a human, all the people in the world are desire to think, and very few of the people who knows how to handle it. But lot of others don't know how to handle it. Even sometimes in some cultural, they don't believe, even they don't believe that they are thinking. Sometimes people think or people believe if someone says that you are thinking, it is a very bad word. Believe me, in my younger time, I also felt like that, and it is very frustrating actually, because I know that I am thinking, or I used to think. I mean, it's like more than habit actually. I was addict. So when I start to talk about this stuff with other people, they think that I am crazy, because they don't believe that they are thinking. So that's why I told, in our society, we all are think, but very tiny little percentage of the people who knows how to think or how to control the thinking process. But most of the people don't know how to control it, and including this, most of the people don't believe that they are thinking, or thinking is normal. They don't believe thinking is normal. Most of the people are think or believe that thinking is very bad. But according to the Buddhism, my dear friends, there is no harm or there is no wrong for thinking. No, not at all. It is okay to think. It is not a problem. And how do we think? Or why? When we see something through our eye, we can imagine what it would be like, what I want it like, what it will be like. Or when we listening, or when we tasting from our tongue, or when we smelling, or when we touching something, we start, or we can start think about it, starting from our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, or body. About these things, or starting from these things, we start to think about it. Sometimes it's only, I could say, start from one thing. I mean, like if we see something, we can think about what we see, or sometimes we don't like to see that, or then we think about like we don't want to see it, or sometimes we would like to see that, or then we can think about I wanted to see in this way, that way, or like that. Or maybe we can interact with other sides too. I mean, we can start to think about something starting from I. Maybe then we can collect from the things we grab from ears, or hearing, or tasting, or like that. Interestingly, our thinking process is very unique for everybody. And because of that reason, I could not give you an example. This is it how goes, because everybody has different opinion or taste. We think what we want to think, what we would like to think. Sometimes what we would like to think is don't like. It's about don't like. That is called in Buddhism dosa, hatred, or in that direction or through that direction. Anyhow, we used to think. This kind of fantasizing situation sometimes we trap it. When we understand that we are trapped, we are trapped. But mostly when we do it, we don't know that we are trapped, but we wanted to do it. We would like to think about it. We would like to fantasize about those kind of things, many kind of things. Surprisingly, sometimes we have to encourage or we have to interact with something else. So we have to leave the room or leave the situation. Then suddenly that thought process suddenly gets stopped. But after we come back to that situation or that environment or some environment, we can have fly with our normal behavior. That last thinking episode is waiting for us to make another episode to the future. That's why we don't know how to control it. That's why we don't know how to control them. Like I said earlier, it is not wrong to think or fantasize. It is okay. But the problem is, my dear, what we think is we become. How about the thinking or what we think, if it happens? Actually, it is happened or it is happening. In Buddhism, there is a word called in Pali Chetanaham bhikkhave kammam vadami. If I translate into English, thoughts will make your own world. It's not actually what we wish yesterday come to us today, but if we go inside to this situation, you can able to see that you have already planned to be like this long ago. I think if we have a one goal or have a one wish, it might can come closer very soon, because we have one goal. But in a day, maybe in an hour, maybe in a minute, we might think or we might fantasizing lot. This everything can come through, but it is lot. It will be though, it will be. That's why this journey is so long. It will be. Sometimes not enough time in this life, it will take to next life. That's why it goes to samsara, on and on, on and on. Life after life, life after life, life after life. Maybe countless time. It can be countless time, no? If we reflecting enough about our one day, or maybe about if we try to see clearly in an hour what we think, we might collect enough data about hundreds of the, maybe thousands of ideas, fantasies, or maybe lifetime things, what we want to, would like to be, or would want to have. These everything we are collecting, these thoughts are collecting the seeds of what we want to grow in the future, or what we want to see or face or taste in the future. That's why this journey is so difficult to stop, and that's why we have to practice mindfulness. Because only when we mindful, we can understand what is really going on right now. Otherwise, we don't know that we are wishing for something. We don't know that we are willing to have something. But this everything will kept in our mind as a memory. That memory can grow a little bit, little by little, little bit, little by little, and when it goes enough to make changes in our life, it will become. It will become. So this everything is changing or creating by our mind, not in our mind actually, by our thoughts. In our thoughts. That's why in Buddhism they teach not the thinking is wrong, but the wrong is what we think. If we think about wrong things or wrong desires or any misconducts or wrong behavior or things like that, or sometimes something if makes defilements around you, that will be a big problem in the future. You have to face it anyway, whether you like or not, because those seeds you already planted in your life before, long ago. That's why we have to be very careful. That's why we have to be very careful. Otherwise, this thinking can be a very danger. This is not I am making you uncomfortable through my talk, but this is a true story. This problem isn't about the Buddhism. This problem isn't valid for the Buddhism. Not only for the Buddhism, but also everybody in the world who living, who thinking, who knows that they are thinking. But luckily, according to the Buddhism, we have a very good and only the one solution. There is no another solution. Not at all, and never will be either. Only solution is stay in mindfulness in the present moment. When you are mindful, you will understand that you are what you are doing right now, and when it is good, you will understand it is good or it is okay. But when it is bad, you will understand, or you will notice, yeah, it is bad. That is called realization. When you realize the truth about yourself, that is the only time you can change or you can stop this journey. What is the journey? Journey you creating in your mind as you're thinking. What you want to become in the future, like you're thinking. What you make sad about your life in the past. This everything can be vanished or can be stopped when you understand that you are thinking about certain subjects or certain scenarios. Only you can destroy them when you're mindful. That's what the mindfulness does, and that's why it is very difficult to do, because in our life we like to think, we want to think, and we not only to think, actually we would like to fantasize. We want to fantasize through our desires, through our wantings. It is not only for the elders or not only for the middle age, but everybody does. Everybody does. But only very little few people will understand that they're thinking, and they will able to control it or stop it. Only the people who has mindfulness, who practice mindfulness in daily basis. Try to think mindfully. When you think, understand that you are thinking. When you're not thinking, try to understand that I'm not thinking. That's it. It's very simple. Otherwise, your thinking world will create you something bigger, and you will trap in your thinking world. When you think about one thing, it will become very huge. Perhaps you can't compare with anything else. It is like that. So actually this is a very difficult subject to talk about, but I try to do my best in my very feeble knowledge of English, but I think I did something. But if I make any mistakes, please forgive me. But I'm trying to improve my knowledge in the future. Yeah, I will. And if you have any suggestions or questions or maybe topics, you're welcome to share with us in comments. And I hope this talk will help you to understand or make your life a little bit easier. If it does, sadhu anumodana, and I really appreciate and I'm glad to hear that. Thank you for listening. See you next time.